right about that point, I started losing my faith. I didn't know how to do any of it. I felt like a failure. I was thrown through the fire, literally, but it was enough to break me. The old me that used to hate God, doubted his goodness, and didn't want anything to do with him, that me started coming out again. So I did the only thing I could do, which was continue to pursue God. Focus on God and God alone. Leave all my struggles, all my burdens at the cross. Hey everyone, I just wanted to give a quick update. I have good news and bad news. The bad news is I did actually film a follow-up video to my last vlog. It was actually a really good video too. Unfortunately, this past weekend I put the footage together, just kind of give an idea of how much footage I was working with before I started making more precise cuts, and at the end of it I had probably well over an hour worth of footage. Even with cuts, I still probably would have been looking at 40 or 45 minutes for a vlog episode, which, let's all be honest, is probably way too long, especially if it's just me talking the entire time. So unfortunately, I'm actually going to have to put that episode on a back burner, just because I'm trying to keep these episodes a little bit short. That's going to go on a back burner for now until I decide what I can do with it. The good news is I'm still going to use it in some way, shape, or form. As for the subject of today's episode, something I wanted to talk about was kind of a little bit of a story about why I even want to do vlog episodes. So for those that have known me long enough, I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. Ever since I was a little kid and I was able to hold a camera for the first time, that's all I wanted to do. You know, going into high school and going to college, you know, my main goal was to tell stories that made an impact, that influence people. You know, over the years I had seen just how powerful movies can be, you know, how powerful stories can be, how much of an impact they can bring to generations. And I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to create and tell stories that matter to people. When I became a Christian, I gave up those dreams. Any of my aspirations or desires to get into filmmaking or anything of that industry, you know, I gave it up so that I could follow God and not be distracted by my own desires. You know, I think of the many times Jesus told us in Scripture that we must deny ourselves, pick up our cross, and follow Him. And that's what I was doing. I was denying myself, denying my own worldly desires to follow Christ. Shortly after becoming a Christian, I felt the call to go into ministry. You know, for a while, I kept on wanting to go back to video making somehow. You know, I wanted to kind of combine my desire for ministry with something that I know I'm good at. I'm good at photography and videos and storytelling. That's just something that's always been a part of who I am. You know, right when I decided to start up these vlogs a couple years ago, I think I might have mentioned it in my very, very first vlog. I'm going to reiterate it here. You know, all that time I wanted to tell stories that made an impact when the perfect story was already out there. The story of God and humanity. You know, this whole idea of God reaching out towards humanity and trying to reconcile us to Him through covenants and ultimately through His Son, Jesus Christ. And I came upon that realization that I did not need to create an impactful story, that I didn't have to, the perfect story was already out there. You know, the story of Jesus Christ is such a powerful story. It's transcendent. It's been around for the last 2,000 years. It's changed hearts and minds. It's changed the course of history. There are so many things that have come out of the heart of Christ. I think that'll be it for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Blessed be the name of the Lord.